Today, me and my classmates are going to talk about descriptive representation. First of all, let's look at what descriptive representation is. Descriptive representation is the belief that voters are more effectively represented when legislators share certain key characteristics with them. Characteristics such as race, gender, ethnicity, and religion. From that description, it would sound like descriptive representation is a good thing, and how could anyone be against it? And in reality, few people are. But the devil is in the details in how we implement and get to the point of descriptive representation. Let's listen now as two of my classmates talk about some differing views.
Why wouldn't we want descriptive representation? Who else better understand the wants and needs of the people than the people themselves? A direct effect of descriptive representation is a crucial key for people, especially the minorities, to feel that they are empowered in the political system, for them to feel that their needs and wants are represented by the people of their choosing at the governmental level.
You know, descriptive representation, it's really good and all, but we need the best person for the job. We need well-educated people, and it doesn't matter who they are, where they come from, or their background. It was supposed to encourage states to create districts, and so allowing more minority groups like African Americans and Hispanics to have greater opportunities to be elected into office.
Over the past 40 years since the 92nd Congress, there has been an increasing number of African Americans and Latinos serving and representing in the Congress.
It didn't work for Hispanics. It didn't work for women because it was only focused on minority groups and not gender. According to this book, The Challenge of Democracy, the government created the racial gerrymandering in order to increase minority representation in the government. However, this segregated blacks from whites instead of creating districts built around contiguous communities. So this separated the minorities and from the whites instead of bringing them together in the government. Also, it violated the 14th Amendment and Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Most of the people that get elected and then re-elected into Congress simply do not represent the racial and social diversity of American society. Close to 1/3 of the American working population work in blue-collar jobs. However, rarely do these 1/3 population get a congressional nomination. Women and minorities, two of the most fragile groups in our society today, believe that only people that have had same personal experiences can truly represent their interests. I understand that it is essential to have the best qualified people represent the American society. However, by continuously re-electing these people with the same backgrounds and the same interests over and over again, it minimizes the chances of minorities' voices ever being heard.
The American people pride themselves on equal opportunity. But if we give special rights to certain people, doesn't equal opportunity go out the window? And also, descriptive representation can lead to a backlash, and minority groups are seen to receive special privileges. For example, when the women's movement happened in the 1960s and 70s, it accomplished many things, but it also created a backlash of anti-feminism.
The only way for people to feel a sense of pride and to respect their government is for them to feel respected in return. How does one expect for a minority group to respect the people that are representing them if their interests are not even being heard? It is essential for people to understand that people from different backgrounds socially, economically, and ethnically have different views as to what is important to them. By allowing representatives from these minority groups to be part of Congress and advocating for their group's interests, this will only make the United States a more well-rounded country.
Look, no one's against descriptive representation. The question is, how do we get there? Isn't there a better way than giving special rights to certain people? Wouldn't it be better to address racism in all aspects of life?
So, as we can see, there aren't simple solutions. Everybody's in favor of greater diversity in Congress and our legislatures. But the problem is, how do we get there? The amendments to the Voting Rights Act made in 1982 created the opportunity for racial gerrymandering, and this did provide greater access for minorities, especially African Americans, into Congress. However, it did nothing for women, and subsequently the Supreme Court ruled it was unconstitutional. Today in America, some racial consideration is allowed when states draw congressional districts, but they're not permitted to draw districts primarily based on race. Perhaps the key is to recognize that most people of goodwill do in fact want greater diversity, as my two classmates were able to come to agreement on.